welcome to episode 1 of my van build series. This week we're gutting the van and starting on the subfloor. Let's get to it. We got the footwell step things out. Get this mat out and then do some cleaning. So the previous owner of the van lived in Minnesota and also screwed like industrial shelving directly into the floor. So I've got these little holes here that go right through that need to be filled and also sanded because they're covered in rust. There's actually a lot less surface rust in here than I was expecting to find when I took the mat up, so I'm pretty happy about that. But nonetheless, there is still some that needs to be sanded down, painted, and then filled as well. Morning. So yesterday I got all this shit cleaned out, all this stuff cleaned out, and I got all the rust sanded down, painted over. I forgot to get Bondo yesterday at Home Depot, so I couldn't fill the holes, and that's what we're doing today. The 1x2s I had originally planned to put inside in between the corrugations, and I realized that's not gonna work out because of insulation and everything. So they need to go on top of the corrugations, and it should be fine. I'll have to make a few minor adjustments to some of the cuts, but everything should work out. Hopefully we can get this all sorted, holes filled, all the sticks of 1x2 painted with the anti-mold stuff, and then get these things glued down today, hopefully. Let's go. So there's no corrugations, I think that's what they're called, right here. So these two pieces are sitting a little low, and I've already measured the gap, and it's basically 1/2 inch, which works out really well because the plywood I got from my subfloor is 1/2 inch. I know a lot of people use 3/4, but I'm 6'2". I gotta try to conserve some space here. So yeah, the plywood's 1/2 inch, so I'll just make a couple shims, stick them on there, glue the 1x2s and the plywood together, and then glue those both down to the van floor. But first we gotta get everything painted, so it's the next step. I'm gonna mark every one of these boards with a corresponding mark on the van floor, so I remember where they go once they're painted. And let's get to it. I got the first coat on. This Kills All-Purpose primer paint. I wanted the specific mold resistant one, but they were out of it, and I really just didn't want to wait. But this is supposedly mold resistant to some extent, so let's hope that is true. First coat is on. I'll let this dry, probably do another coat, and flip them over and do the whole thing.
Now I'm fed up, wanna take it all back, 'cause we're a no-go. I know that I do better solo, so move along for God and shadow. Better get it right this time around. Yeah, we're a no-go. I know that I do better solo, so live along for God and shadow. Better get it right this time around. I never heard a silence so loud before. I'm gonna love every minute of it, every second of it.
So at this point in the build, I made a huge mistake. I was using the rubber mat from my van to trace the plywood for the subfloor, which is fine, except that I made two mistakes using that mat. The first was that I didn't realize until after the fact that the mat doesn't actually go to the edge of the step at the sliding door. It only goes about this far from the edge, and so I ended up having to redo some of the plywood because of that. The other mistake I made, as you can see, is I pulled the mat to the edge of the plywood, which when I traced it and cut it, it left two of the pieces way skinnier than the other two pieces. And so when I installed the plywood into the van on top of the 1x2s, the weight wasn't distributed evenly, and there was no 1x2 under the seams of the plywood, so I was having a lot of this, and it was just a lot of nonsense. I ended up having to redo all the subfloor plywood. I wasted a lot of plywood and money and time. Measure twice, cut once. Make sure your rubber mat goes to the edge of the sliding door if you're using your rubber mat instead of cardboard.
Longing for that sound of you being gone, so I can hear my thoughts again. Hear my thoughts again. So is this gonna take all night? Don't wanna waste no more time. Yeah, you're damn right. Already gave you my loved ones, but now I'm fed up, gonna take it all back, 'cause we're a no-go. I know that I do better solo, so move along for God and shadow.
Okay, so all the floor framing is cut. I've got my little shims here for this corner piece. We're gonna go ahead and get all this glued down, and hopefully it should only take a day or two set, but
Give me something, something good.
Weights are on. Now we just gotta wait like 2 days. See if it's enough weight. Alright guys, that is it for this week of the van build. Check back next week for episode 2. We'll be finishing the subfloor and starting the next project in the van. As always, much love. Have a great week. See you on the next one.
For the rest of our lives, it's gonna be a done deal.